and welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video, we'd like to talk about IVE's Off the Record, focusing on a little breakdown of the lyrics and the music video to see what they can tell us about the story and its connections to the lore. Off the Record is a pre-release that tells the story of 6 girls sharing private conversations about the mysteries of love. Like I anticipated in my breakdown of Either Way, Off the Record is loosely connected to the overarching lore that was first introduced in Love Dive. As we already saw in some of their past videos, in fact, IVE played the role of 6 cupids that once lived among the clouds. Understanding they are different and fascinated by the very love that they spread, the cupids burn their wings and descend on Earth to discover who they really are. On their way to success, the girls experience ups and downs, but they're still magical. They still have the powers of a cupid, and in Off the Record we discover how they deal with this double life. Now in the song, the story begins at 2 AM, when the girls decide to have an off-the-record night to share their secrets and reveal their desires. Even if as cupids their job is to spread love, as human girls this love is like a forbidden fruit for them. But during this late night conversation they finally open up, take off their innocent mask and share their wishes of love. As we'll see in a second, each member has a secret to share off the record, and the lyrics are fully about their desire to experience the thrill of love. While the ladies engage in some subtle girl activities to highlight the forbidden nature of this love, this uncontrollable longing is also expressed in other interesting ways. Speaking of forbidden love, for instance, part of the bridge actually samples the song Lawful by the Cardigans, which also happened to be the soundtrack of Romeo plus Juliet. On a visual level instead, the video is full of apples, and in this context this fruit actually has a double meaning. On the one hand, the apple is often used to represent the forbidden fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That is the fruit Eve ate when she gave in to temptation, so them being surrounded by apples, eating them, growing them, and even praying to them is meant to show not only how deep is their longing, but also how much they wish to fulfill it. Since in the lore IVE are cupids, however, the apple is also a symbol of love. Back in ancient Rome, the apple was the sacred fruit of Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, which also happened to be the mother of Cupid. In short, all of those apples symbolize their forbidden longing for love, which they finally address during their off-the-record conversation. As they confess their secrets, the video reveals that each of them has a specific one to share. Gao, for instance, is a cupid who wishes to be a bride. Even if love is forbidden, her secret is that she fell in love with a human that was hit with a love arrow. As she fantasizes about it, the boy falls in love with a girl because of the very arrow he was shot with, so Gao has to watch him being happy with another despite her wish to be loved. Ray, on the other hand, is a cupid on the hunt. While we see her being very focused on her job and working really hard, it also seems that she's very clumsy and distracted. During practice, she misses all of her shots. She bumps into a tree, and it's only after a lot of training that she finally succeeds. Wonyoung instead plays the role of a very shy and geeky cupid. As she lives an isolated life, she falls in love with a boy that makes her fly even without wings. She loves him so much that she got the same helmet he wears. She stalks him with a camera even, but Wonyoung is scared, and every time that there is an earthquake, she hides instead of leaving. Now, considering the context, I think that the earthquake is kind of a manifestation of her love for that guy. She's literally shaken up by this feeling, but the more she loves, the more she hides. In the video, we also see that she lives in a house full of apples, but most of them are either boxed or canned. It's almost like she refuses to open up to the love that she longs for, so she's stuck because of that. When it comes to Eugene instead, she seems to be a cupid looking for a place to call home. In the video, she hangs out at the mall after closing time. She eats her meal, dances around, plays with the mannequins, but if you look closely, she also carries luggage, possibly meaning that she's looking for a place to stay. In the video, we also see her carrying a giant heart-shaped apple. The more destructive she gets, the more it gets smaller, until this heart becomes tiny enough for her to eat. At this point, she's literally eating her heart out, which possibly means that she could be suffering from excessive longing of something unattainable. Liz's confession, on the other hand, seems to be related to her lines in the song. In the lyrics, she says that sometimes she gets silly thoughts people would never be able to guess, and sure enough, in the video we see her lost in a happy fantasy. As she has fun on a swing and in the company of a duck, the park becomes a film studio where she has an adventure rolling around a duck-shaped boat. She's like a self-care cupid, if you will, and definitely the happiest of them all. Last but not least, we finally get to Iso, who in turn is trying to grow her very own apple tree. At the beginning, we see the girls at 2 AM playing Spin the Bottle, and during this game, Iso seems to win a pink magic bean. When she plants it, she begins to pray in front of a shrine dedicated to the apple, so in a sense, she is the cupid who is most devoted to love itself. In the video, however, we also see her crying and desperately waiting for this tree to grow, so this scene can be interpreted as her being the youngest and also longing for the time she can love as well. By the end, her prayers are answered because the bean turns into a beautiful apple tree, but this abundance abundance of apples also surrounds the other girls. When they're together, the world becomes colorful, happy, and this could mean that at the end of the day, their friendship off the record gives them all the love they need. By the end, the girls keep sharing secrets, but this time they keep them among themselves. We as the audience are kept out, we are no longer invited in the house, so to know what else IVE has in store for us, for now we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, however, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.